Deportiva y con swing.
Deportiva y con swing.
La factoría del deporte desde New York para ti. Es una máquina.
Es una máquina
Pensada para ti.
pensada para ti.
Número uno en las redes, dale like y compartir. Con informaciones importantes siempre frescas.
Y con entrevistas que te ponen de cabeza.
Lo mejor del deporte lo encontrarás aquí.
Búscale en las redes, dale like y compartir.
Suscríbete,
Ay sí,
infórmate.
ok. Dale a la campana para que te llegue.
Oh, it's very special. It's a huge honor. There's so many great players, and it's a great experience, and I'm happy to be here.
So, what's the most exciting player that you want to be like teaming with?
It's a good question. I'm excited to see the guys hitting the home run derby tomorrow. See Pete if he can, three-peat out there, just or tonight. See Albert, just see all the guys. There's not one player. Just excited to meet them all.
When you see that lineup in the American League, like is that a feared lineup with like a lot of names? Who do you think has like the leverage?
Well, I don't have to pitch against them. I just get to hit. But, obviously their pitchers are great. Every player here is a great player, so it'll be a fun game.
Well,
what's up? Oh, it's good to see you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, appreciate it. You doing all right? All right, good.
All right,
Hi.
So I work for
What's up,
House
Derek?
of Highlights. We're asking our audience and you guys, what's more exciting, the home run derby or the NBA slam dunk contest? No bias answer, just the truth.
The home run derby by far.
All right, why?
I mean, man, I love baseball, so that's my favorite sport. So I think that's, for me personally, I know a lot of people have different opinions, but
What about a fan that's just casual, like a casual fan of both? Which one would you make the case for?
well, I play baseball, so I want to watch baseball. So I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't watch much basketball, but obviously I love baseball. And even as a kid, we'd watch both. We'd watch those, the slam dunk contest. We'd watch the home run derby, but baseball was always my favorite.
Fair enough. All right, and if you had the opportunity to be an All-Star 10 times but never win a World Series ring?
No, World Series.
All right, so you knew
You
the
don't have to
answer.
finish. You don't have to finish that. World Series trumps everything.
Facts. Thank you.
All right. What's up? Hi. Great. Easy. Luckily.
Easy. A little rain out, you get an earlier start.
Yeah, we didn't quite, but we, planes have schedules, but it's all good. You good? You hungry?
What is it like for you? You've been to these before, but not with the New Jersey on and all that. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I've never taken it for granted. You never know if it's your last one. I never thought I'd make one, much less 7 now. So every year I've gone, it's been a great honor, and I've just tried to soak up the memories, enjoy it with, my son and my daughter, my family, my wife, parents, anyone. I've had the opportunity to bring friends with me, have coaches, have, a lot of people who are influential in my life, to be able to share this experience with them. And so I think that to me is the coolest thing, as well as just hanging out in the locker room with all the players and meeting guys that I'm competing against, just getting to say hello and kind of be on their same team when we're usually going against each other. That's probably my favorite thing.
Is that do you swap stories? Do you swap advice?
Well, you keep advice, a little close, but I think stories, and I think there's commonality. We're facing other teams, similar pitchers or hitters or whatever. So it's just great to see people on that personal level. And I've developed friendships with guys on other teams, that started here at the All-Star game or seeing them with their family or their kids. And then, it's kind of built over the years from there.
What was it like for you to come here with your teammates? You got one, Ryan, his first time, and then the other end is Albert.
Yeah, special for two different ways. Albert, everything he's done in this game, it's great that they were able to get him here, and he's going to do the home run derby. And there's been a lot of fans who have watched him for 20 years now, and he's been a huge example for players like myself and probably a lot of these guys here that we've tried to play like him, and now getting to be on his team, try to be like him as a human being. So he's been a great example for the game, a great ambassador. And then one of the greatest players of all time. And then that first All-Star game for Helsley, I remember for myself, is really special. It's something that, of course, everyone wants to get to, but we know how hard it is, and you're never really sure if it's going to happen. So when that got announced in the clubhouse for him, was extremely happy.
Paul, you're from Woodlands High School. We're here from Houston.
Awesome.
What kind of lessons did you take away from playing up at the Woodlands that you still carry today?
Everything. I mean, we had so many great players there. Just the competition in the whole city of Houston. I can't imagine there's a better place to play baseball, a more talented thing. So the competition level from Little League on was very high, and I think that transfers to then as you go to college, went to Texas State, and then getting drafted. You know, you're just always used to playing baseball at a high level. Importance on, you know, winning and competition, all those things. And so, yeah, that definitely transfers.
How often are you back?
Once or twice a year, go visit some friends and family. But, you know, I haven't lived there probably in 15 years now, but obviously loved growing up there, still have friends and family there, and it's a great place.
Do you keep up with some of the, you know, Houston area guys that maybe you were playing against back in high school, or how the guys' talent has come out of the city?
Yeah, I think there's a few guys. We had a guy from, you know, I mean, it's not like I'm watching all the time, but it's cool to see guys that come up, or you see guys drafted or get to the big leagues in that area and stuff like that.
Cool. Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Hitters like to talk about how hard it is to pick up space in the shadow of the five and when you face the best hitters in the world in the shadows.
Yeah.
What can you do to try to mitigate that?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Hope for a cloudy day tomorrow. I mean, these guys are hard enough to hit already. I think just as a hitter, you're just trying to simplify when you can't see. If there's, or it's tougher to see. I wouldn't say you can't see, but it's a little tougher to see. Just try to simplify, maybe shorten your swing and just try to do less. Just because your reaction time is going to be cut down, you might not pick up the ball quite as early. Same thing, like if you're just a nasty pitcher, you know, for me is, you know, you can't be swinging out of your shoes. Just try to simplify, stay short, and you know, do your best.
Do you have any bad memories of facing a particular pitcher in the shadows where you were just like, oh my God, man?
There's plenty. Not one comes to mind. We've had, you just have some games where you come back to an at bat, and if you just put the ball in play, unfortunately, you're pretty happy. So we'll see what it's like. I guess we'll get a little taste of it tonight with the home run derby, but you know, it's just part of the game. We're all used to it, and you find a way. Yes.
I apologize if you are discussing this guy, but does any story kind of stand out as he's going through that last season?
I think just how great of a teammate Albert's been. You never know. You know, he's been such a great player, and obviously can hit home runs and hits and RBIs and doubles and all the great things, win the World Series, MVPs. But to see him mentor our younger players, even myself, to be so open to guys asking questions, to want to teach, to be very encouraging. I mean, this game's hard, and so there's a lot of times you're getting criticized when you don't play well, and to have him kind of be there to encourage myself and other players on the team has been huge. I mean, he's a great example for this game, and we're all trying to be like him.
Yeah, and how is it different, you know, when he's as, you know, the long-time opponent?
You know, as hitters, we're always kind of on the same team, so it's been a guy that we've always looked up to, and it's just great to get to know him on a more personal level.
Hey, Paul.
Doing all right?
Hey, Paul.
Hi.
We're Japanese TV, and you are ISPs over 400. Do you have any, you know, different approach, you know, depending on the situation?
I mean, of course, you're going to always kind of make small adjustments, but there hasn't been anything big. Just try to go out there. Biggest thing is to just swing at the right pitches. For me, if they throw a strike, you know, try to put a good swing on it. If it's a ball out of the zone, just try to take it. Easier said than done, but that's what I try to do.
So how about after the 2 strikeouts, you change your approach?
No, I mean, each at bats is different, and you know, if you have 2 strikes, same thing. Just try to get a good pitch and keep it simple.
And we watched a great moment from the, you know, Cardinals this year. What is the atmosphere of the crowd was?
The Cardinals?
Yeah.
It's great. We have sellout crowd basically every night. The fans want us to win. We want to win. It's a great atmosphere to play in.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm from Japan.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
What is it mean playing with Nabi, Wayne, and Albert?
It's a dream come true. It's amazing. Those guys are incredible players. Their stats speak for themselves, but also incredible leaders. Probably the 3 best leaders I've ever been around. Incredible teammates, great people, and it's an honor for me to play with them.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Here, Jake, look at the camera right here. You getting hot? You good? You want some water right here too?
How's it going?
Good.
So congratulations being here.
Thanks.
How are you feeling now?
Good. I'm excited to be here and enjoy today with the home run derby. Watch those guys hit and just enjoy these couple days and go out tomorrow and try to play well.
With your kid?
Yeah, of course. It's exciting. Yeah, maybe one day. So yeah.
So I read from a Japanese TV station, but I know you haven't faced Shohei Ohtani, but I believe you know him.
Who? No. Okay.
So, and there's a better chance to face him tomorrow. What's your impression of Ohtani? And if you know his pitches, he throws like fastball, slider, splitter, like kind of everything. What pitch do you think should be most difficult?
It's hard to say when you haven't faced him, but it's been great what he's done. Come over here and play really well and pitch and hit, something that no one really is doing. So really any of his pitches probably, but I'd love an opportunity to face him, whether it's today or in the following years, and be a great challenge. It's not an easy at bat as we see, but you know it's fun and it's awesome what he's doing for the game of baseball all across the world.
So you cannot like pick one pitch or like you don't want.
No, I don't know. We'll have to see. Whatever. I don't get to choose what pitch he throws. Whatever pitch he throws, I got to try to hit it.
Right. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
When's he getting drafted?
I don't know. Says he wants to play hockey, so.
Oh! Hockey's your team. Hockey's your sport. No
Yeah.
baseball? Who's your favorite baseball player?
Dad, oh, thank you.
Paul, shift or no shift? We're kind of asking a bunch of guys today. Have fun.
I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. Whatever they decide, they decide. I think, honestly, you got to decide what the goal is. I mean, if you're trying to get more hits in the game, I mean, there's no shift. But if you're trying to kind of put players where it is, then you got to keep the shift. I mean, it's obviously legal now, and whatever is decide. I mean, I think that's where you have to decide is what the goal is. Are we trying to get more hits? Then, I mean, that's the easy question. If we're just trying to, what's best for the game, that's going to be an opinion. So I just play with whatever rules they tell me to play and try to do my best.
That's fair. So, if you were commissioner for a day, what rules would you change?
That's too big of a question. I wish I.
None of you guys are like, I don't want the job, I don't need it.
Well, I mean, you put guys on. I mean, that should be a question that's being thought about very deeply. For me to just spit something off the top of my head without really thinking about it, that's not fair to the commissioner and to all the players. So, again, it also matters what the end goal is. So, you know, there's a lot of different competing factors, fans, players, money, you know, there's a lot of different TV, there's a lot of things. So to kind of balance those, I think is a tough job that I hope they're trying to do.
That's fair. Then Paul, what is your favorite aspect of the game and like its most purest form?
Baseball?
Yeah.
Just the competition between the pitcher and the hitter, and obviously that's changed some with you know, especially over these last 10 years. I can't imagine the game changing as much as it had, but still, when you get down to it, there's a competition there between the pitcher trying to get you out, you trying to get a hit, and that's the fun part of it.
Paul, I'm curious, Joe, you've seen the reports about Soto's extension and protection. What advice would you give someone in that position based on your experience?
I think he's getting plenty of advice. I'm sure he's got plenty of smart people around him, and he knows what he's doing. So each guy's, you know, going to make their own choice, and you know, I wish the best for everyone, whatever they decide.
Has he asked anyone for advice?
I think that'd be a question for him. I don't know. I just said hello. I didn't broach that subject with him in the few seconds we had.
And then I'm curious, it's a completely different question.
Okay.
When you're looking at your own stats, what do you look at to see what kind of year you're having? Like, what's the most useful stat?
I don't look at my stats during the year, so I just try to focus on showing up and, you know, controlling what I can control and put the work in every day and be focused. At the end of the year, you know, I'll check and say, how did I do this, that, but I don't know if there's one stat. You know, you can, some years maybe you hit for a higher average, other power, other defense, so there's a lot of factors. For me, I'm just trying to do the best I can in all of those to the best of my ability, and just give it my best effort every day. So.
If you look back on your career, is there a major adjustment or change in the process or change in mindset that you can think back to? Was maybe with the oppo and full power, you've always been like a big oppo guy?
I think that was just the oppo thing was kind of taught to me like in little, you know, maybe not little league, but you know, in those teenage years when you're learning how to hit, to, you know, stay through the middle of the field and stay inside the ball and all that stuff. So it's going to be a little hard to make big changes. I haven't really gone through big changes. My biggest thing is just controlling the things I can control, prepare every day, try to find ways to get better, but it's more of small things over the course of a season, over the course of a year, more than I need to try to make a wholesale change. Now, there's times that happens.
Is your swing about the same as it was?
I'm sure it is, you know. It's not too different, trying to do the same thing, kind of get in a good position to hit, swing at the right pitches, hit it hard, keep it simple. But of course, there's always adjustments. Sometimes you're wider, more narrow, you know, but it's all basically that same thing.
What's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
We were kind of noticing you got company, a wingman here.
Yeah.
What kind of thinking went into that? Like, why did you feel it was important to make this into a family event?
Well, I got a daughter too. This will be coming later, but I mean, every year I've got to bring my kids, and we got pictures with them at the home run derby. But you know, he's at the age now where he can hang out in the locker room, and we, you know, come on the field. And honestly, this is the thing I've been most excited about. You know, we hit some balls in the batting cage. We'll go out on the field, and there's a memory hopefully both of us will have for a lifetime. You never know when it could be your last or your only. I mean, every year it's a huge honor to be here. I never thought I'd even get to the big leagues, much less, gosh, be in an all-star game or now 7. So I've just tried to enjoy it, and not to mention we're away from our family so much. So, you know, as most guys are taking a break where you get to spend a few days with your family, you don't want to take that time away and say, oh, I got to go to the field and be away from you for another half day or day. So when I started playing well early in the year and I knew this could be a possibility, this was the number one thing, was bringing my son and now my daughter later to the field that I'm most looking forward to. We play a game every day. I hang out in the locker room every day. The fact that we got an exhibition, can enjoy and take them with that is really special.
Just a couple more things, but does he have any guys that he sort of bugs you, like, Dad, I want to meet this guy?
Is there any players you want to meet?
Who's his favorite player besides you?
Who's your favorite player besides me? Albert, he says.
Why Albert?
How about Mr. Adam? Yeah? I think his best friend's Wayno. Mr. Adam, they always hang out together, and he's so great with them. Probably Albert because he knows how great he is. So I explained when we signed Albert, we saw him in the clubhouse. Yeah, he's one of the greatest players of all time. So, yeah.
Did want to ask you also, last night with it being the draft, but you see Matt Holliday's kid get drafted, you see Luke Collier's kid, you see
Andrew Jones'
kid. Did that kind of maybe, I don't know, like you don't want
to. Who knows? That's too far now. He says he wants to play hockey, so I don't really care what he does as long as he's happy. And we just take these moments. And baseball is a huge part of our life, obviously, but it's not my life. If baseball ended today, I'd be fine. I'd move on to the next thing. When my career's over, we'll move on. Even when I was trying to make it in the minors, there's always a backup plan. And, you know, it's kind of a balance because it is such a big part of your life. But I think Major League Baseball players understand that it's not as important for kids than guys who don't play. They think that if you make it, your life's complete and all those things. I mean, we still deal with all the same stuff that non-players deal with. And I wouldn't choose any other career, but, you know, it's not like I've completed my life because I made it to the big leagues. And so I think players know that a lot more than non-players. And so it makes it easier. And I think most players don't put pressure on their kids to play. But I do think from talking to other guys, Holiday and some of our coaches, there is pressure kind of comes from other parents on their teams or teachers or whatever, and something he'll have to deal with and we'll have to deal with, and he knows how I feel about it.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. Good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
What's up?
When you were a kid growing up, did you follow the All-Star game?
Yes.
Did you vote for players? And who did you have a favorite player who you had to vote for every year?
The hard part was deciding how much of a homer you were going to be. I grew up in Houston with the Astros, Bagwell, Biggio, Berkman, those type of guys. But yeah, I remember going to the games and getting the pamphlets and poking the holes in them and turning them in. And we loved voting for that and talking with our friends about who deserved and who didn't. And It was a great experience for, about a month, during the year. So it's cool that fans are getting to do it. I know it's digital now and different, but love the home run derbies, watching those, and the one at Fenway sticks out to me where they were hitting them on the road out there with McGuire and Sosa, and I don't know why that just sticks out to me. But I loved baseball as a kid, all sports, but baseball was my favorite. We watched all the time.
Now that you guys have to vote, for the reserves, what are the stats you look at among other players when you make your decision?
It's tough. I mean, I think WAR is kind of encompassing, but it doesn't really tell you. I tried to look at a few different things. I mean, you can look at offensively from an OPS, try to find stuff where they adjust the ballpark, what OPS plus or weighted runs created plus. I mean, I'm not a guy who looks at stats, but I was trying to do my job to kind of balance and try to find it. But you could spend days and days doing it. So I tried to find, take into account the base running and, defense, and just try to do the best you could. But it's tough when you can only vote for 2 guys and at each position. And I think that's what makes this so special, is how hard it is to get here. There's plenty of deserving guys, and I try to take it very seriously because you know how big of a deal it is.
Like Tommy, he's third in.
I know.
I mean, how's that going over in your clubhouse?
It stinks. I think it stinks for him because of how valuable a player is. I think offensively those numbers just stick out a lot more, whether that's tradition of a game. Even myself, I can't not fall into that tradition. I had no idea his WAR was so high. I know he's been a great player. I'm assuming, playing great defense and being one of the best base runners in the league. Of course, he's been a good offensive player. Right, with WAR, it's a little different depending on your position too. So it's tough. I don't know. There's no right answer. I mean, it's like when you guys have to vote for postseason awards or MVP. It's like, do they take into the team account or there's so many factors, and I'm glad we only do it a little bit.
Well, has there been much talk in the clubhouse at all about what Matt Carpenter is doing this year?
Mostly that's awesome for him. Just, he was so, loved in that clubhouse. And I know, he didn't play his best last few years, and so he put in a lot of work. I think that's been talked about and written to make some adjustments. So very happy for him. One of the greatest people and teammates I've ever played with. And, he kind of said last year that he was going to try to make some changes and come back. He didn't want to go out like that, and it's been awesome what he's done.
How you like him with the mustache like there?
It looks great. So it was a little funny at first, but I think it's working for him.
And one more thing, what advice would you give to Juan Soto on what he's going through?
I don't know.
And do you think where he ends up could tip the scales? Look at Mookie end up in the Dodgers and they win it that year. Where he ends up, he could be the. Do you think he could be the?
Yeah, I haven't really followed it. I'm not really sure, but obviously he's one of the best players in the game. Whatever, Washington, or I guess you're talking about if he gets traded, he'll help any team tremendously.
Paul, what's it been like playing with that Albert this year and being at the All-Star game with him together?
You doing all right? It's been great. I'm so happy that he's here. Very deserving everything he's done in the game, for the teams he's played for. I've just been so impressed with what type of guy he is in the clubhouse. Obviously, see him work in the cage and on the field and all that is amazing, but to get to know him on a personal level, he's helping. He's, myself, he's helping so many of our players, coaches, and just great to have that. And for him to be so willing to do that has been huge, and to just set the example. I think all of our guys will remember that for the rest of their career as they age and as they are in this game, how to treat others, how to be a good teammate, how to lead, how to handle different situations. He's set the example for that.
Has he spoken to you guys as a group? I guess he's supposed to talk to you guys tomorrow.
I don't really remember too much of big team meetings, but he's had an effect on every player in our clubhouse. Try to get a hit. I don't know. He's so good. Just try to keep it simple, not try to do too much, and it's tough because I never faced him, but obviously he's a great pitcher, and try to do my best.
Oh, in 2004, were you at the Houston All-Star game? Did you get to go to that one?
No. I never went before I got my first one in 13 in New York.
What does it mean to have Jake here with you?
Yeah, it's amazing. This is the #1 thing I've been looking forward to. I've got to take him and my daughter for the home run derby. the years before, but they were a lot younger. Now it's been since 2018, so 4 years, and just excited to share this experience with them.
Are your parents in from the Woodlands? Or?
Yeah, my parents are coming. You know, I never take this for granted every time. I never thought I'd be at one All-Star game, much less 7. So, you know, it could always be your last, and have family enjoy it with me. I mean, I'm not here if it's not for my wife and my parents and her family and so many coaches and teammates. So try to take it in and let everyone enjoy it.
Can I answer Jake a question? What it means?
He said he didn't want to talk, so thanks for asking. Just smile.
He's there for the photos, right?
What?
He's there for the photos.
Well, I could either leave him by himself in the clubhouse, and who knows what would happen, or he'll come. He said he wanted to come with me, so I'll keep him by my side.
What grade is he in?
Yes. I think it depends what the goal is. I mean, if you're trying to get more hits, I think you got to go no shift. But you know, the way the rules are, I mean, the shifts they're smart within the rules. So whatever they decide, and you know, I just don't know. I think deciding that question, you got to know what the goal of making a new rule or not making it would be.
So if you could be commissioner for a day, and you've been around the block,
that's a very.
What would you do?
Yeah, I mean, I understand why you're asking that, but that's a question that I'd have to think about for a while. And you know, the commissioner in Major League Baseball, they're on it 24/7. So I don't know. For me to just come up here and spout something off would not be fair to them or even to myself, because it's not something I thought about.
You have amazing batting scores right now. What's the impression of Otani here?
It's one of the best pitchers in the game. What he's been doing over here, make that adjustment. I see the highlights. He's great. It's a tough challenge for everyone, and you know, it's awesome.
Oh, it's been a personal highlight from the first half so far.
It's a good question. I don't know, man. There's so much to go. I just really try to stay in the moment. I'd have to think back to it. Maybe for me, hitting the walk-off grand slam was probably my coolest moment. I was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and a double play going into extra innings, so it wasn't shaping up to be my best game, and was able to hit a walk-off grand slam. That was kind of out of left field. So to be able to provide a victory for us, and especially after my day started, was something I don't think I've ever done before.
Always good to cap it off that way.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. When you were coming up as a baseball player before college, high school, what was Albert Pujols to you?
He was the best player in the game, really. I mean, those first 10 years he had in St. Louis, I mean, I watched him a lot in Houston. I got to see McGuire kind of early on, and then Albert, but I mean, he's 3-time MVP, and I mean, everyone was kind of doing his stance as a kid. Thanks, Tack. I mean, he's a guy that you were emulating even if you didn't play first base. I remember how he used to have his bat like higher. I used to kind of try to hit like that. Eventually changed it because I was getting in bad habits, but you know, there's always those best players in the game, you know, you're trying to emulate. And I mean, I told you, I remember that homer that he hit in the playoffs. So just so cool. And I've said it before, but the type of person he is, the type of leader he is, the way he is in the clubhouse, the way he treats people, unbelievable. Just as good as the way he is on the field. And to me, that's just as important. You know, you want to be, we are examples for the kids out there. I want my son, you know, to learn from these players, and Albert's the guy that I would be very proud if he acted like Albert.
Did you have much time with him before being a teammate?
No.
Not really.
One time I was able to go to lunch with him. Early in my career, I would, and I still do, would seek out players, great players, and try to talk on the phone or go to lunch. And when he was in Anaheim in spring training, Dave McKay set us up. Thought it'd be 30 minutes, and I think we sat there for three hours. And I think that is the type of person he is. And I was no one, and he didn't have to take time away from his family. And so I remember I walked out. I was like, I can't believe. I was trying to like, hey, go home. I didn't want this much of your time, but he was so great about it. Of course, I don't remember exactly what it was. I remember being like, man, I think he knows my swing better than I know it. Like, he knew so many things. He's such a smart player. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm sure there was something at the time that I tried to implement. A lot of, little things, or gave me more confidence in what I was doing. I was able to do that with McGuire and other guys as well. And Same thing. Just take little things from every player I get a chance to talk to.
When you mimicked his swing, successfully or not, did you do this time?
Probably not. I remember like the bat.
Yeah.
So I remember kind of growing up as like Sheffield was kind of before him, and he had like a big leg kick, and A-Rod kind of had a leg kick, and then Albert was like one of the guys who was kind of a lot more simple with the wider. So that was a kind of transition. You okay? From a leg kick to kind of wider and simpler, and then which worked, and then it kind of had my bat higher. I remember in college, and but it was creating some bad habits. So then it kind of flattened it out, which now how it does. I didn't realize I was going that much, but that was kind of something in college that happened, and then I started playing well and kind of stuck with that. Barry, what's up? How are you? Yeah. It's been a few years. He's 6, about to be 7. That was 2015. Yeah, we're having fun.
Well, this is Stephanie, our play ball
Hold on.
reporter.
All right.
Hi, Paul.
Hi. It's all good.
You gotta wait until we get the camera and then go ahead and go. Hi, Paul. What are you saying? What's your name?
This is my son Jake, and happy to have him here with me, and I'll have my daughter Emma with me a little bit later.
What's your favorite thing about baseball?
Ooh. Probably the competition between when I'm hitting and facing the pitcher, and then on defense trying to help your pitcher out by making plays. Just that competition.
What's your favorite thing about hockey?
What's your favorite thing about hockey? He's a little shy. He didn't want to talk, but probably the action, all the fun they have. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, of course. Y'all have a good one. Very. Oh, it's been great. I've got the DH probably 8, 9, 10 times, so physically it's nice. I mean, I love the strategy of the NL, but as we were seeing pitchers get hurt, I think it seems like we want a little bit more offense in the league to be able to get another hitter in. I think it's been really good. Also, not having pitchers having to run the bases and be able just to focus on pitching and double switches, all that type of stuff. It really has been good. I do miss the strategy, but I think overall it's been positive. Well, there's still, do I leave my pitcher in? Do I pinch hit in a tie game? And do I have to take this reliever out? Do I bring in a guy knowing I got a pinch hit, double switch? So, but yes, you are correct. The analytics are doing more. So, yeah, I do. Yeah, I always loved it in interleague play. So it's nice to be able to stay in there. Of course, I'm getting older now. I'm 34. I'm not in my 20s. So any help is good. No, I do whatever Albert wants, and but he's such a great teammate that he'll do whatever is best for the team, and I take that same attitude. But it has been nice to work some of those DHs in. We also have about 4 first basemen on our team, so it's been easier for me than the guy like Arenado, who's probably had 4 or 5, but we don't have as many third basemen. So.
You've been to quite a few of these with Kershaw. My understanding is that he loves the All-Star game. Do you have any memories of All-Star games past with him? Anything that stands out there?
I think my first couple of games I was not going to talk to him, but as I got to know him, I remember just talking to him in San Diego dugout, and I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite players. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about him. I have as much respect for him as I do for anyone, not just what he does on the field, but off the field, in the clubhouse. Gotten to know him a little bit, just mutual friends, both being from Texas, just playing against each other so much here. So, I mean, we're all role models for kids, and he's a great role model, someone I'd be proud if my son was acting like he does.
Yeah. Are there any moments over those years
with him?
Yeah. Once you worked up the courage to talk to him.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's courage. There's just, respect when you're facing a guy, but eventually, nothing really stands out. Just, I remember, nothing really, just casual conversations. And I do remember one All-Star game, he was working out, and I was like, dude, no one works out in the All-Star game, but he was still getting after it. I'd heard about his work ethic, and so that kind of stuck out to me.
Was that like the morning of the All-Star game, you think,
or the home run derby? He was in the weight room for like hours, and I had heard that he really gets after it. So yeah, so it was impressive, and just to kind of see that firsthand, it was great.
This is a ridiculous one.
All right, here we go.
Pretty short hair, and
not.
Pat says spring training. burned this week?
What?
Remember in spring training, guys were getting burned?
No,
with the trucker hat?
I didn't. I don't. Was this trucker? I don't know. It's not short hair, not by choice. So we'll see. That's a good way to say it.
Guys getting killed. Were you
I didn't notice it. I never had a problem.
fresh with the sunburn?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I got a little hair to protect myself.
Yeah.
A couple more years, I'll have to look out.
What's your snit status?
Yes.
Thanks.
Hi. Sure. He doesn't. He would prefer not. Yeah. All right.
All right. These are pretty simple, but you tell me when you're good. All right. Is it have a catch or play catch?
Play catch. This is so awkward.
If you have a beard, do you also have a mustache?
I'd say no, one or the other.
Do you prefer flat wings or drumsticks?
Drumsticks.
Okay. If somebody strikes out the side, does it have to be in order in your mind, or any 3 outs in the inning are Ks?
I think technically any 3 outs. But if they give up like 5 runs and still strike out 3, they're not going to be happy about that.
Do you have any baseball superstitions that you'd share?
I don't really have any superstitions, to be honest. So, but I mean, if things are going well, obviously you're not trying to make big changes. But I'm not so superstitious that I'm going to let something mess me up.
Is there a big leaguer right now who you enjoy watching around the league?
Yeah, plenty of them. Probably Mike Trout's probably my favorite. Love watching him, but there's so many great hitters, and as a hitter, I'm always watching hitters, and he's one of the guys that when he's hitting, I don't walk away.
And the last one is, what do you think your most played song is right now? What are you listening to?
Probably, I don't know, something like Jeremy Camp. I got my walkout is on his album, but probably that whole album we listen to a lot in the car.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Should have gave a shout out to the Kane Band, huh? I'm so blessed.
Yeah, I just got.
Yeah, go ahead.
Favorite road stadium to play?
Wherever I play the best. I don't know exactly where that is, but anyone where you're playing well is where you want to play.
And then Albert's in the Derby, but if you had to pick another teammate that might surprise someone that would do well in the Derby, who would it be?
I mean, I think everyone knows Arenado. If his back wasn't hurting, I wouldn't be surprised if he would have done it. And he could definitely win it. Our young guys like Yepes and Gorman have stupid pop as well. So either one of those guys could do well, and if they play well, might get a chance later in their career. Yeah.
Paul, from Venezuela now.
Hi, what's up, guys?
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about Yepes, precisely.
Yeah.
Here in the big leagues, and he gets to share the field with you.
It's awesome. He's a great player. Man, he's got some big hits for us. He's got really good power, played multiple positions, so he's been huge for us. And, there's no reason he shouldn't be with us for a while.
And one last one, just being here with Albert, the last year of his career, and being in St. Louis and being here at the All-Star game as well.
It's an honor to play with him. It's just, there's no other way to say it. He's one of the best of all time. Every day, watching him work in the cage, watching him lead in our clubhouse, help teammates, help myself. He's truly one of the greatest of all time.
Paul, tell me why baseball's awesome. So you got your son, all right? He probably likes baseball.
Yeah.
But tell me, why for kids who are in front of video games, short attention span, why is it awesome?
Well, to me, it's fun. It's fun to go out there and compete. You get to be with all your friends and teammates. Just have fun out there and run around. But I think on the bigger picture, it's I think sports in general, but baseball especially, is such a great metaphor for life. So this is more maybe towards the parents, why I would encourage them to let their kids play or introduce them to the game. Not as a, hey, you're going to get a college scholarship, or hey, you're going to get to the big leagues. But sports are just a great metaphor for life. You got to deal with failure, nothing more than in baseball. The game's unfair. You can hit a ball hard or throw a perfect pitch, and it doesn't go your way. You got to learn to deal with other people, deal with coaches, teammates, deal with success, not getting too excited. Basically all the things in life. I think sports are a great metaphor and just introduce a lot of those life lessons to kids. And I played every sport growing up. I think that's a big thing. I still remember my first baseball practice, getting out of my mom's minivan and saying, Mom, I love baseball. My first practice. So it's in my blood. It's one of my earliest memories. I don't know why, I've always loved it. The mental side of the game, I think, is unlike really most sports. And for me, it's always been a passion. It's always been my favorite, and I'd love for as many kids as possible to play it.
You said metaphor for life. I mean, you kind of touched on it. Baseball more than anything else. Some kids don't want the failure, right?
Well, yeah, who does? None of us do, but you got to learn to embrace it. And I think sports another way, because as you fail, you get to make a choice. Do I just give up, or do I work? Do I practice? Do I just keep going after my goals? And I think that is a huge thing in life, because we're all going to fail. We're going to fail at whatever we decide to do, and then now we have a choice of how to react to it. And baseball gives you that choice usually a couple times a day. And so I think without even knowing it as a kid, you're just playing, you're having fun, you swing and miss, you strike out, you make an error, you give up a homer, you know. Now you're just keep encouraging, have fun out there, and all of a sudden, oh man, now next time I got to hit, now this, now that, and you kind of learn those lessons. And other sports have it as well. I don't want to just single out baseball. It was my favorite, and there's other things. I mean, you're playing the piano, you're doing art. Like, failure's built into life, so you might as well, try to learn to embrace it as soon as possible.
How old were you in the band?
Probably 5 years old, whatever T-ball is. So my parents, I was playing soccer like most kids earlier, and my dad loved baseball. He's like, will you please just go and play? And they didn't want to force me to play. They didn't want to be those parents that forced me. And I was like, all right, I'll go play. And they were so happy, and I'm sure they were nervous that I would hate it. And I remember getting in my mom's van after my mom's minivan and being like, Mom, I love baseball. And never thought I'd do it for a career, but just they keep letting me play. They let me play in high school. They paid for my college. Diamondbacks gave me a chance, so I'll just play as long as they let me.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, what's up?
You're battle with David Bednar of the Pirates. That's another one.
Back and forth.
Yeah. What do you think of his skill set and maybe what kind of player he's developing into?
Man, he's been great. I don't know his stats this year, but that's a really tough at bat. He's been one of the best pitchers and closers in the game. Great fastball, great curveball, and that changeup, is that what he calls it? That moves almost like a cutter. So he throws strikes. He knows how to pitch. He'll pitch you a number of different ways. He's been great. He throws multiple innings if he has to. I mean, really couldn't ask him to do anything more. I think he's can hold runners pretty good too. So I don't know what else you need out of him. You doing okay?
Appreciate it.
Try and get out of the shade. In the shade. All right. What's up?
Does the new playoff format change the second half? The number of teams?
What'd they do? Add one more in each league? I'm not 100% sure what they did. I mean, I think if you win the division, it's a little bit more beneficial, right? Or not? I don't know.
You can win the division and then still go to the wild.
Yeah, there's not a one-game playoff now, right? 3 games?
3, yeah. But you could.
Yeah, that's good.
You could be a division winner, but still end up.
Yeah, I mean, I think, right, it looks like, because I don't know it exactly, it gave more teams an opportunity to get in, but also is rewarding some of these teams that the best 2 records. So I think that was probably the balance point. For me, I'm just trying to win as many games as possible, and wherever they tell us to go, we'll go and try to win. And, I think the more strategy is maybe from front offices and coaches than for us as players. You want this or no? What's up? So happy for him. It's so awesome. Those last few years in St. Louis, he was pretty disappointed with how he played. I think he said that, and he kind of said, I don't want to go out this way. I'm going to do everything I can and try to make some adjustments. And he's done a great job. I mean, had to go to AAA for a couple months and kind of prove that he had made some changes. Now get this opportunity in New York on the biggest stage. So, I mean, he's one of my best friends and just a great teammate, was so loved by everyone. So everyone is so happy for him. And I mean, you heard what I was talking about earlier too. It's a great example to not give up, to find a way to make adjustments, even when, you've been very successful doing it a certain way. And so hopefully people will see that story, not just in baseball, but in other walks of life. And I can't say enough great things about him.
I wanted to ask you, the level of difficulty in something like that, especially at that point in his career, it just looks like it's like his numbers are on the charts.
I know.
It's crazy. It's the level of difficulty to make those kind of changes.
Yeah, extremely difficult. First off, just mentally to maybe, I don't know, to take that chance. There's a risk that, his career could have been over. And I know the last few years in St. Louis, he was working in the offseason and trying to find out, why he wasn't hitting the way he had went. But I think this year or after last year, he kind of said, I need to maybe make some bigger changes. I don't want to put words in his mouth. You probably I've talked to him. But, yeah, I mean, just to do that it's a big risk and is awesome, and it's hard. I don't think he would say it's easy. I think he was working this entire offseason. I think in spring training, it wasn't like he was doing this in spring training with the Rams. I know he didn't maybe get a ton of at-bats. He had done one in AAA. That first month in AAA, he was doing fine, but it wasn't this. So I think even he would say, you know, it takes time and there's adjustments, but I don't know if he's kind of gotten back to what he was doing earlier in his career or has kind of done something different. I don't know all the answers, but we've seen guys do it, but it's awesome because he could have just been done. I mean, he's made enough money. He's been on winning teams. He didn't have to go to AAA and ride the buses and early mornings and all the stuff that goes like that. He had nothing to prove for himself, and it's just cool that he's had this success. Yeah, I think Ollie roomed with like half our players. So I think like with Matt Holliday, they live together. I mean, it's just been really cool, and I'm happy. And he's a great guy and teammate. And
so when you talk to Matt, what are the conversations like now?
Well, I was checking in on him and wondering how things were going, like in the off season, because I knew what he was doing. Didn't really get too much in depth, and he was playing well in AAA, and getting calls like, dude, hey, keep it going, great hit. Just kind of talking our normal baseball talk. All right. Man, I'm not going to bet against Pete. I mean, you win 2 in a row, he's put on a great power display, but any of these guys can win it, I think. I mean, I've seen Acuna hit the ball as far as anyone, Soto as well, Albert. I mean, I'm sure Schwarber. I mean, they hit the ball so hard. I'm sure I'm leaving some guys out. I'm excited to watch.
Paul, you've seen Dodgers starting pitching year after year after year. The face is changing, the pitching coaches have changed. What's the concept? Why is it good year in and year out?
I don't know. You tell me. That's what we're trying to figure out. Every time we come in here, they got 3 all-star starting pitchers and a nasty bullpen. So, I mean, their hitters aren't too bad either. So, I mean, they've been a loaded team the past decade. Great players. They're obviously coaching them up the correct way and getting the most out of their players. So, big credit to them. It's always tough at bats, and they do a great job.
Yeah, you look at a guy like Tyler Anderson who kind of comes along, finds success here. I mean, how has he changed from what you've seen?
We just faced him. He didn't seem too different. I think that'd be a better question for him. I didn't notice anything that stuck out too much, but he was always a good pitcher, and he's just doing an even better job this year. I don't know what's behind it. Hi. Hi.
So I'm going to be straightforward and ask a question that you're going to be about to Otani. Give us what you think about how he is.
He's a great player, one of the best out there, one of the best pitchers and hitters, and it's fun to watch him play and maybe face him. What? Oh, what's up, man? Good to see you. All right, thanks. Thanks. What? All right, I got to do my last one right here.
This is the last one. So there's a rumor that you might be traded.
Otani?
Yeah, become a teammate. What do you think?
Well, I'd be excited. Every team wants him, so we'll see what happens. All right, thanks.
Queridos amigos, sigan con la máquina deportiva. De parte de José Alberto el Canario, un fuerte abrazo a todos ustedes, siempre dándole su buena salsa. Míralo al revés, mira que se te ve, llévatela.